Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Izumi Ohno. It is my great honor and pleasure to give this presentation as Director of JICA Ogata Sadako Research Institute for Peace and Development. As our name signifies, connecting development to the peace and humanitarian field is one of our main research interests. 2020 is an important year to kickstart the UN Decade of Action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The world today is also confronting the COVID-19 crisis. However, even with these challenging tasks, we should not lose sight of our common goal of realizing peaceful and inclusive societies globally, and more importantly in conflict-affected countries and regions, as embraced by SDG 16. The current pandemic reinforces the importance of three issues that are highly relevant to international effort toward peace building and sustaining peace. These are, number one, the need for a multi-sector and coordinated approach. Number two, the need for building institutions which provide essential public services, including health system. Number three, the need for prevention and resilience. In a nutshell, there is a continuum between crisis management and beyond, and today we need a human security approach more than ever. In the recent decades, the international community has worked hard to build a mechanism for enhancing the nexus between peace and development. When I was working at the World Bank in the 1990s, I never imagined that building and sustaining peace would fall within the scope of its operations. But now, the World Bank has included fragility, conflict, and violence as one of its special themes under IDA 19. On the humanitarian side, the collaboration between the humanitarian and development actors was highlighted by the UN member states in the Global Refugee Compact in 2018. In December last year, the Global Refugee Forum was held by UNHCR in partnership with multilateral and bilateral donors to discuss how to operationalize the compact. So, a critical question is how to make this nexus operational and produce concrete results on the ground. Our research and JICA's experiences show that building institutions is a key. Here, institutions cover both central and local government. They should include not only the system for security and justice, but also those for basic service delivery, for example, health, education, food security, water and sanitation. Also should include social protection, public financial management, development planning, and so on. In particular, building a system for local service delivery is essential because it helps to prioritize local needs and develop the capacity of local government in a targeted and integrated manner. This is a good way of localizing peace and development nexus through empowering people, enhancing the legitimacy of local governments, and consequently building trust among those concerned. More specifically, I would like to highlight two ways of nurturing trust between building subnational institutions. The first is related to building trust between the government and people, as well as trust within society, through the establishment of a responsible and accountable system for public service delivery. This requires the capacity development of local government in the conflict-affected countries because they serve as the primary interface between the government and the people in the delivery of multi-basic services. The second way is about building trust between refugees, internally displaced people, IDPs, and host communities through the promotion of coexistence. This requires the capacity development of local government for participatory and inclusive planning process, basic service provision, livelihood improvement, women's empowerment, infrastructure development in the countries which host refugees, so that the needs of both refugees and IDPs and host communities can be properly understood and addressed. It is only when local people, refugees, and displaced people appreciate the peace dividends that trust can be nurtured, reconciliation can be advanced, and the state can gain legitimacy in the citizen's eye. In this regard, I'd like to share two good practices from Asia and Africa, as presented in the brochure of JICA's approach to peace building. First case is about the Philippines, Mindanao Peace and Development. Since the late 1990s, JICA has supported a variety of multi-sector development needs in the conflict-affected areas of Mindanao. This includes programs to support Mindanao local governance, community development, public service, and economic activities in order to protect individual rights to life, livelihood, and human dignity, with the possibility of helping to establish an autonomous Bangsamoro government in 2022. It is worth noting that by taking a multi-sectoral approach, JICA comprehensively supported both the existing administrative organization and the organization that was preparing for transition. In parallel, the Japanese government supported political dialogue between the central government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Second case is about Uganda, coexistence between South Sudanese refugees and host communities. The refugees inflow from South Sudan to northern Uganda placed a heavy burden on Uganda host communities. In response, JICA conducted a multi-sector urgent needs assessment in the affected areas, covering both settlements and host communities to deliver integrated services. The result of the needs assessment was presented to local government and donors, which spearheaded a national drive to develop a harmonized information management system. JICA has been also supporting capacity development of local government officials and host communities for better public services and livelihood improvement. This is designed to reduce the burden experienced by host communities and build a service delivery system inclusive of both refugees and residents. These activities have been implemented in close partnership with UN organizations such as UNHCR and UNDP, as well as the World Bank through its IDA refugee support. Finally, way forward toward building institutions for human security. While political engagement and promotion of reconciliation are necessary to keep a fragile peace, state building through a homegrown process is a basis for sustaining peace. Peace building and sustaining peace are long-term processes, and the process must be managed fairly and inclusively with full respect to country ownership. As vulnerable people face a multitude of crises and disparities, we need to be reminded of the importance of human security and resilience building to realize a society where everyone can live in dignity, free from fear and want. It is vitally important to build accountable and inclusive systems that can deliver public services with due attention to the political sensitivities involved in governance. In this sense, Pathway for Peace, a joint report by UN and World Bank produced in 2018 rightly emphasizes the need for a coherent strategy as well as integrated planning and implementation on the ground, encompassing development, security, humanitarian, and political actors. Where the UN and World Bank group bring separate comparative advantages and have a different roles and responsibilities in the international architecture, their coordination is vital for peace-building efforts to be effective. I have full trust that Peacebuilding Commission will serve as a platform for the UN agencies, funds and programs, other multilateral and bilateral agencies, humanitarian and development organizations to share good practices and concrete experiences with institution building. This will provide a basis for building and sustaining peace. Thank you very much.